Tank here reminds me to enjoy the dog, but don't be a dog and play in your hands today. And I do have one tip for you all. We're all dealt the same hands over time, that is, in poker and in life. It's how you play them that makes a difference. So play your hands well. And I want to thank Chris and Joe for running such a great tournament and putting a $500,000 guarantee on this and the great turnout and the great support. Let's give them a round of applause. Guys, really, this is the quality that we're looking for. And so it's great to be back here at Planet Hollywood and play with you all. I look forward to competing with you today. So dealers, with the blinds at 50 and 100, shuffle up and deal. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Welcome to the Famous Four. I'm Jacqueline Higgins, your host, and I am with Kenna James.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey. All right. Tell me about the worst hand you have ever played.
The worst hand? Oh, God. You said these were easy questions. It's not easy because what makes up a worst hand? The way I played it, the result, I don't know. I'll tell you, one of the most devastating hands I played was on the WPT in 2005, and I was heads up against Alex Kahaner, and literally we're playing for over $500,000 in cash. And I have the chip lead, and I read him as a bluff when he 3-bet me. And I moved in, and even though I only had ace-4, I felt it was the best hand. And he went into the tank. He said, "What time is it?" We had been playing for 10 hours. And he ends up calling me for all his chips, $2 million more with Jack High, with Jack 10. And I lost that hand, and then consequently went on to lose the battle and over $500,000. So that was the most devastating, worst hand that's ever happened, but I still got almost $600,000 for it, so it's hard to call it a worst hand, So
gosh, what a hard day, $600,000.
Well, I've been very lucky and fortunate to play this game for 20 years and have a lot of good fortune go my way, Jacqueline.
Good. Well, that's awesome. You're an awesome player. We definitely respect you. Who are your favorite 3 people to play with?
Favorite 3 people to play with? I tend to be the opposite. Most poker pros look for the fish or the easy, and that's probably the smartest thing. But in my career, I always looked for the toughest. And so I always relished when I played against Phil Ivey and Daniel Negreanu and Patrick Antonios. I think those 3 are at the pinnacle of our game in many ways. And so I always relish and cherish playing in those guys, especially in the major events.
That's awesome. I like those 3 too.
Yeah.
All right. When you get caught bluffing, what do you do?
Quietly muck my hand if possible, and try not to blush, and and say this is the first time I've ever done that, and tell continue to tell tales or continue to bluff. But what do you do? My tip, if there's a tip out there, is never show a bluff. You never get back as much as you give up when you show your hand. Most people think, well, yeah, but I'll get my opponents on tilt. You never get back as much as you give up because they can see what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're thinking. And once you figure out a player's thinking, it's pretty easy to figure out their actions.
Wow, what a great tip. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Last but not least, who do you nominate as the famous poker donkey?
The most famous poker donkey's got to be Mike Matisaw. Because he calls everybody else a donkey, which spiritually means he's the actual donkey or feels like it. So, and he's called me a donkey many a time. So, Mike Matisaw, you're the donkey. You better realize it. Jacqueline, it's great. I made you laugh.
You did make me laugh.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. This has been the Famous Four with Kenna James.
See you at the table.